James Vince comes into the side. He's played, what, 9 or 10 games. He doesn't have a great record behind him. Now, eight innings, 225, average 28. He's coming in. He's been the backup player for a Bairstow and a Roy, whose strike rate is huge, their average is huge. So as a backup player, he's got to live with the fact maybe Jason Roy won't come back. Maybe I'll stay in. But this is a great opportunity. If you're getting a break, you might as well get a break against Afghanistan.
So Jofra Archer and Vince are the only two players, I think, in that England side who has less international experience. And great opportunity. I think, when you are playing in such a strong team, you get to learn a lot. Also, the fact that you've been mentioning that, you can go under the radar.
Under the radar. There we go. One more has gone under the radar.
Yeah, it just works for you because, the focus is not going to be on Vince. So it's just a perfect scenario to go out there and express yourself and get that confidence which you can use going forward, because when you're playing at the highest level, it's just about getting that confidence, isn't it? That one innings, when you play against a decent opposition, good bowling attack, and here the challenge is going to be spin. And how do you judge most of the English batsmen, how they're playing spin? Because seam bowling, swing bowling, they're pretty much, grow up on those kind of surfaces. They're pretty used to dealing with those kind of attacks. But when you have spin attack and such a formidable one, which Afghanistan has, if there's help in the wicket and if he manages to score runs on this kind of track, then England selectors will be going that, okay, hang on, we've found someone, who we can use not only in England but also when we tour, because that's subcontinent conditions. You need good players of spin also to
if I was Vince, I'd be thinking maybe it's meant to be. There's Roy and Hales batting really well. Hales goes out, Bairstow comes in. There's 3 people to choose from. Where's Vince? Vince is playing somewhere in front of 3 people on a county ground. Then next thing you know, Hales is gone because he's done something silly. Next thing you know, Roy is gone because of injury, and there I am centre stage. Maybe it's meant to be.
Absolutely. But the other thing is that he is a very decent cricketer. I mean, anyone who plays in the Big Bash, I believe, is pretty decent standard, because you choose only 2 international players. So he plays Big Bash cricket, which means people recognize him. And if you look around the world, there may be 3-4 sides where he'd find it difficult to open, England being one of them, because there's such strong sides, maybe England, Australia, but otherwise he's a class batsman, and that's the interesting part about it. And you know what I like about this England side? This England side reminds me of Australia in their heydays, 2004 to 7, where Vince could score a century out here. He could get a century in the next 2 matches, and come the third match,
and yet get dropped.
Yes. Remember Brad Hodge? He scored a double century and then got dropped immediately. Next over out.
Right.
And I think their side is strong enough to do that, saying, okay, here's your job. You're the backup opener. Go do your job. Great job. Okay, son. Jason Roy is back. Go back to the.
What happened to KL Rahul? I mean, KL Rahul would score a century in the next game. Shikhar is fit, and we'll tell KL, you know what? I think you're made for number 4. go back to number 4. But that's an attribute of great teams. Their option was to actually ask Moeen Ali to open.
Correct.
But because Moeen Ali at number 7 hasn't scored runs, he's got a couple of ODI hundreds as well. But I guess if you picked a guy to be in the side as an opening batsman, you can't suddenly tell him, you know what, we're actually pushing Moeen Ali.
But there is another reason for that.
Yeah.
Because when someone has got a hamstring muscle injury, you're not sure. So I'm getting a feeling that they're not 100% sure that Roy is going to come back.
Okay, the news on that is it's a hamstring tear, but they're not telling anybody what grade tear it is.
Exactly. So that's something which they have to take that call. That's why they're making sure that someone a like-to-like replacement is there. And if Vince comes good, then even if Jason Roy is not available for a while, they will approach it in that fashion. And the important game, if Roy manages to get fit, he'll come back in the side. Or I won't be surprised if they get a replacement in like 8 to 10 days.